3 o'clock. Call in to order the special meeting for the Turf Club 1 Board of Directors. We have all 5 directors here. We have a quorum. Okay, executive session pursuant to Section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code, Texas Open Meeting Act. The Board of Directors may deliberate the employment of a new general manager. We will now go into executive session. It is now 3:01. Right. It is now 4:34. We're going to enter into regular session. Second item on the agenda, consider and take appropriate action relating to employment of new general manager. There was no action taken. We'll proceed to item number 3. Consider and take appropriate action relating to repair of groundwater well pump and related equipment. Staff?
Mr. President, this is actually both these are my items, at least to start off. We had a failure in groundwater well number 1. Represents approximately 5% of our annual water supply from that well. It was a situation where both the electrical panels and breakers and the pump head itself were fried. As of right now, the estimate we have for replacing the pump head, which is 2,300 feet down, and the electrical panel is right around $50,000. I authorized moving forward with this procurement under that portion of our procurement code. I don't have an exact number for you now because we're still in the process of ordering and getting the work in. I did notice on our tour today that there's a truck in there getting ready to pull the old equipment out. So I talked to Tony about this, and he said at your first opportunity, just get the board to affirm that you're making an expenditure in excess of your $25,000 limit on an emergency basis, and to provide you with updates as the work comes along.
So until that,
Vice President Rose?
Pump comes up out of the well, we're not going to have an opportunity to take a look and see what else is going on down in the bottom of the well.
Sure. But we will do, as you suggested, a complete disinfection at the time that we bring it back into service, as well as looking at all the other parts, the casings and other
Yeah,
things.
casing, there's screens and stuff like that down there too, I think.
I will tell you that the well has been running well since the low part of the drought back in the early 2010s.
Okay.
The groundwater levels have recovered a little bit. So,
Okay.
When you said it was burnt and that stuff, you thinking lightning strike or some kind of surge?
we don't think that, but it could well have been a surge, and it's also old breakers. So the breakers are hanging off of an old, an old style pole, and the panels themselves look old and rusty. So it's just a time the breakers inside of them fried. That happened. It's not clear to us exactly what the cause of it was, but once the electricians come on site, take it apart, we'll try to determine the cause of failure. But there was no lightning, though, as far as I know, around the time that this well failed.
Okay.
Okay.
You get the Loch Ness Monster down there, he binds up the pump and
That's right.
burns it out. If you get the Loch Ness Monster down there, he binds up the pump and burns it out,
Okay.
all the way to the top.
Okay, making fun of Chapman again, okay.
So do you need some type of motion or something
I
from
think
us?
what Tony suggested was just that, that I bring this to the board and that you affirm that this is a emergency procurement in excess of my expenditure authority, that we don't yet have the final price for, but we're actively in progress. The parts have been ordered, and the cost of the installation, they have to pull out 2,200 feet of pipe from the pump head. And then the pump itself is on the bottom of it, so we'll do some postmortem on that when we get it out. But just something acknowledging that it's been reported to you all, and it was done under that emergency procurement provision.
I don't know. You want to do something to me?
I don't know what, I mean,
Yeah, to me.
it's on the agenda.
It's on
We've
the
talked-
agenda, and you've said it, and it's on tape, so it's acknowledged and noted.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so that is the
Do it as far
appropriate.
as I'm concerned.
I guess if you,
If anyone wanted to object, I guess this is the time.
at this point, we're basically finding out what the costs are, what it's gonna be to fix it.
Right.
And
And I was planning on, but never got to, got busy with a few other things this week, but I was planning on showing what the cost of not having the well in service is, because that water is, we're effectively replacing it with more expensive water from
Yes.
Fort Worth. But that's kind of neither here nor there. That's the driver for the emergency, in my view, is it's economic.
Yeah.
Should we go to item number 4?
Okay, item number 4, consider and take appropriate action regarding request by Denton County Election to use the Savoy Municipal Boardroom as a early voting polling location for the March 2nd, 2020 primary election.
Mr. President, this item, Lori called a meeting with the former election judge for the last election we had here, Mrs. Lamont. Our representative from Denton County Elections came in. We had the police captain, I'm going to forget the gentleman's name, from the town, and Mike and I met to discuss, with Lori, of course, the challenges associated with traffic control and the long hours associated with early voting for a primary election. We're already planning on being here for the day of the election, but the early voting is 2 weeks of 10, 12 hours a day. It seems like they're open for pretty long hours. And we had some real challenges around traffic control on a few of those days. We were told by the Denton County folks that while they would like to use our room, they are concerned about the challenges that we discuss with them. And they are actively trying to visit with 2 other groups who might be suitable for that. I don't know if I should mention them or not, but there was some discussions about reaching out to the LDS Church over on Trophy Club Drive, where they have a large parking lot and availability of their space. And then also, I believe they're going to reach out to the country club. So I don't know that those discussions have happened yet, because I want to say we met on Wednesday, Lori.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. Brandy said she would call me on my cell phone as soon as she heard anything back. She hasn't. I was glad we got everybody together. Captain Woodward said that anywhere but here. This is just not a great area. They will have to bring in off-duty officers or bring in 2 officers and pay them salary for all the hours during the election to try to manage traffic. This is just not, he said, anywhere but here. For that many people, they're expecting up to 10 times the turnout. So we just kind of, we're leaving it as is right now. They're checking with the LDS Church to see if there's any possible way to use that location. And the golf course, he said, would even be better, because there's at least a pattern for the traffic. Here, it's very difficult to, there's no road, 2-lane road. So just updating.
Yep. So in this case, my view of this is we already have they have a application or a form to fill out. We haven't signed it yet. Our board has expressed willingness to help in these cases. But in this particular case, they're looking for more suitable locations for traffic control, those kind of items. So I guess for me, the action would be to authorize the district secretary to sign that if they're unable to find a more suitable location.
Is that ordinarily done as a motion through the,
No, typically, I just would take care of it.
okay?
However, just with the challenges associated and knowing that everybody likes to vote here, we wanted to bring this to your attention and let you know that we are expecting, they anticipate well over 1,000 voters per day, minimum. And so there are going to be a lot of challenges with it. So we wanted to bring this to light here and let you know where we're at in the process. And we don't want to say, of course, the board doesn't want to say no. However, it will be really challenging just for our own staff to work and have access.
Why don't we use this as an opportunity to discuss with the town removal of the police station if they're done with it? That would help some extent with the,
Can't get it between now and then.
Some, but the road right
This
down
is-
here is not a 2-lane road.
that's 4 months.
Okay,
It takes 4 months to tear down the building.
They're
okay.
doing police and fire exercises down there, and then they're gonna demolish it.
Was that one thing follows the other, or was that like one thing?
I think they're doing police and then fire.
But we were able to get Janet's questions answered, because some concerns she had have been cleared up, so we're just kind of waiting and seeing.
And Mr. President, on Friday of last week, so a week ago today, I did discuss the wide variety of property issues with the new town manager, and that was high on the list. They're getting 3 bids to demolish that, and they said they were doing it as we spoke. So that,
Demolishing it?
getting bids to
Oh.
demolish it. So there is that piece where if there's asbestos, the demolishment costs are higher than they are if it's not. So,
What did they say, about 2 weeks?
as I recall it, we didn't have a time frame.
Hi. Anything else?
No, sir.
It is 4:45. Like to adjourn the Board of Directors meeting. Good day.